seems like there's a lot of people that have opinions on what is available to Mark Davidson to look at as the district attorney evaluates the murder of Pauline Pusser. A lot of people are saying, the autopsy report's not going to show anything, or they'll discredit time and motion studies that have been done about if a car could have chased Buford down as Buford described, all sorts of things. So I thought it would be interesting this week while I was at Selmer and over in McNairy County to visit with a couple of people that seem to know a great deal about not only the story, but about the forensics. So one, of course, is Dennis Hathcock. He knows a lot of the people over there, people that would probably be witnesses to some of the things that happened back at that time, people that I've interviewed myself. And then the other is Danny Couples, and he is a forensic investigator. So I thought I would let him tell you about the things that an autopsy can provide. Here we go. Welcome back to Buford Pusser, the other story, and with me today is Dennis Hathcock and Danny Couples. And we're here at the ambush site. Thought we'd shoot something right here on location this time. And just remind everybody that, you know, the District Attorney General, Mark Davidson, is about to release the results of the TBI's findings. And I just wanted to say, I hope everybody doesn't get too excited over any one portion of their investigation. I mean, Danny here can tell you something about autopsy reports, but they're going to tell only a part of the story. The projectiles tells a part, the casings tells another part. New witnesses that have been interviewed and have come forward, they tell another part of the story. So it doesn't all lie with one piece of evidence. Tell everybody why you know about autopsies.
Reason I've been in forensics since around 2007. I've got really passionate about it. I worked at a local area over in Middle Tennessee in Columbia, where I became a death investigator. I got really hungry for it. I become board certified in death investigations. I ended up working for a forensic center and was the state's chief death investigator, actually the first chief death investigator they had. So I trained, I was hungry for education in this field. I ended up going to St. Louis, Missouri, where they have one of the finest training institutions anywhere from all over the world. They go there. I ended up with I went to two master's courses there. In New York City, I was able to go to their training, and me and Jason White, that you've had on your show before, he had you on his show. He and I were one of the only two in the world, because this is a worldwide audience for this class, to make it to all three of their training courses. And one of them was bloodstain pattern analysis. That doesn't make me an expert in the field, but I have worked hundreds and hundreds of deaths involving gunshot wounds and bloodstain pattern analysis. No, I'm not an expert per se, but I have been known, be qualified as an expert witness in this field. So that's kind of where I come from. I do wear a lot of hats, just like a lot of people do. I'm a critical care paramedic. I work with a cold case team, and I can't really say where, but I'm a big part of a cold case team that was established about a year and a half ago, and I'm a big part of that because of what I know and what I've done. And then the paramedic, and then the forensic part, I help teach it for Middle Tennessee State University, and with collaboration with the state of Tennessee. I do that currently. I still do that. So that's kind of my background in why I can say what I say about it.
Danny, just real briefly, tell us what can be found in an autopsy report.
Well, in the autopsy, of course, they'll go back and they'll kind of, it's like you said, it's like a puzzle. They have to put, even with the body, it's a puzzle. Putting the puzzle back together. No, the autopsy wasn't done in the beginning. So they're like starting all over again. So they'll do an examination. They'll videotape the body from head to toe, just like they would if it happened that day. And then they'll go through the X-rays. They'll do just like a normal autopsy, as best they can with what they have. And if there's any missing parts, they'll put the puzzle back together and photograph that and see. They can see other injuries, maybe like if there's injuries on the neck or the body, how many maybe bullet wounds there were. Is there any fractures in the skull, in the chest, in the arms, or wherever? And this alone can answer a lot of questions just from where the projectile was, even the direction of the way a bullet may have entered the body. So autopsy, even 50 years later, can tell a big story.
Dennis, as far as witnesses go, what else do you know?
Well, there's a lot of people have come forward, and I've seen on your post where some of the soothsayers say that don't mean anything. There's one or two of them that have come forward.
Yeah,
I can assure you, is like puts the nail in the coffin. But
well, hopefully we'll get down to the bottom of things with that. Danny, do you have anything else to say?
Well, what the district attorney is probably going to be looking at, in my opinion, I've worked with district attorneys in my field as a medical examiner investigator. We work hand in hand with district attorneys, and I can only say what I've dealt with. But he'll be looking at the investigation that TBI did really clearly to match what they did, what they found, with the reports from the past, and then see how much difference they are. And that's the only way he can base his opinion off of.
Yeah. Dennis, there's all kinds of witnesses that have come forward since those days.
Right.
What can you say about that?
well, people have to understand back at that time, there were a lot of people that knew that what BUFORD Pusser was telling was a big tale. That nothing didn't happen like that. Of course, they knew that Pauline had got killed, but most people suspected him that knew him very well. But they didn't say anything or come forth because they didn't want to wind up like Pauline. And if you knew Pusser very well, you knew that could very well happen.
So there you have it, folks. At this point, it's just a waiting game. What we do know is that we have an autopsy report. We have physical evidence. We have new witnesses. Now, as far as the autopsy goes, like I say, it's not going to be necessarily the absolute determining factor, but it will contribute some information. Same as the projectiles, the time and motion studies that about the alleged chase, the new witnesses, they're all going to play a part in the decision that District Attorney General Mark Davidson makes. So, at any rate, there you have it. Like I say, at this point, it's just a waiting game. But hopefully, we'll soon hear something. Until next week, just remember, truth has no agenda. Thanks for watching.